Hello everybody, and welcome back to Quantum Break with me, Transfat. Well, without further ado, let us continue to Act 3, Part 1, Research Facility. Is this a 3-act game? The wine and cheese crowd.
Security was tight at the Monarch Gala. You took quite a risk walking into the Lion's Den.
If we were gonna kidnap Dr. Amaral, then we needed to do it from the inside.
Beth Wilder. You were quick to trust her.
We had common interests.
Is that all you had?
That's all we needed.
Well, I was starting to think seeing a pretty lady like you was too much to hope for.
Why don't you keep your mouth shut while we get some privacy before we begin? Okay.
How about you get me out of this chair?
Stop squirming. And you're gonna need this.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
What's it look like out there?
I think you're secure. Everyone's concentrating on the party. So far, your crazy plan's working.
And Dr. Amaral?
I don't have a fix on her. She's either at the party or at her office at the R&D facility here on the island. I'll scout out the party.
So you're gonna sip champagne while I break into a high-security installation. It's like you got this all figured out.
I'll save you a cocktail, Weenie.
Oh, well, in that case...
I thought access signs were red for a
Recoveries are
reason.
gonna survive the night, but it'll last a little longer, so you can't walk out the front door with me. This is the quickest way to the R&D facility.
You know, for
I
visibility.
disabled the security at the back door, but there'll be guards. Contact me when you're clear. And Jack, you know what's at stake here. This can't be about revenge.
I'm not here for Paul.
Can it be a little bit about revenge? Just a smidge? I do love a good revenge story.
Good luck.
Hey! He's escaping!
Okay.
Damn. That will hurt in the morning.
Oh, I mean, he's not dead.
My powers were growing. I was learning to control them better. That felt good.
Oh, wait. I prefer this. It's plenty of ammo. But yeah, that bullet that was flying towards Jack was comically large. Alright, what are you about? Oh, okay.
Who the hell designs these doors? Okay, I'm gonna have to move faster to get through.
Okay, I thought there was something there on the table on the left. So yeah, new mechanics. So we could effectively sprint now, I guess. Graffiti. Seeing quite a bit of this. Is that Beth? It's like a ponytail.
Very sci-fi and very Monarch. Something tells me it wasn't commissioned by them, though.
Oh. Big, done by Toto, apparently. Alright. What we got over here?
Hey, Beth, I'm clear. What's next?
You'll see a radar tower up ahead soon. Let me know when you get inside.
All right.
Not letting me read this. I mean, I could just read it myself. The National Park Service welcomes you to Riverport Coastal Defense. Please read the monument has 219 steps. Persons with heart or respiratory conditions are advised not to climb. Children under age 14 must be accompanied by an adult. If you climb, take your time. Watch your step. Do not throw any objects out of the windows or down the shaft. Foods, drinks, smoking and pets are not prohibited in the monument. Any questions or problems, please ask a ranger. Riverport Coastal Defenses Monument, Riverport National Historical Park. Good times. That bike has seen better days. Better days have seen that bike. I hear fireworks. Okay, there's the Monarch spire, I guess. Okay. Well, that looks safe. Whoa. It works for me. Oh shit! That does not work for me after all. Uh-oh. I'm gonna die. Oh, maybe not. That was a thing. Oh. What a wonderful place for that to be. Can I destroy that?
It's too heavily armored.
Okay. I've seen a use icon on it.
Oh, you could have warned me about that one, Beth.
Light machine gun. Oh, it's a... It's like a... What is it? A Stoner 93? This is a really old LMG. Why? Everything else has been really, sci-fi. Okay. Also, before anyone's laughing at the weird name, Stoner, Eugene Stoner, they played a very pivotal role in the development of the M16 and the AR-15, I guess? Or is it the AR-15 and not the M16 at all? I don't know. Do I want to give that up? It's a new weapon.
Okay,
Give it a whirl.
how am I getting to that radar tower?
And we're goodies. Yeah, up there. And there's a big thing there, apparently. Looks like another sign.
I need to get across somehow.
Well... Oh. Aw, I thought it'd be cooler.
Must be a way across.
Yes, Jack, yes.
Up you go. Alright, that's it.
How we're gonna explain it public. It was just our people there. We can spin it however we want. Call it an accident. Or pin it on Joyce. Yeah, he might as well take the blame for the mess he made.
Rude. What were they aiming at? Also got an achievement there. It's like 1 foot into something. Maybe 1 foot in the grave. Don't know.
Time felt broken here.
Okay, Gold Island sign Riverport Coastal Defenses. Coastal Defense installation of Riverport was commissioned on August 2nd, 1940 and completed in September 1942 as America faced the realities of World War II. In addition to the fortifications and artillery,
The whole cannon felt unstuck in time.
I'm busy, Jack. You don't have to give me hints for the puzzle that's probably behind me. Jeez. Also boasts an extensive tunnel system that linked Gull Island to the mainland, enabling free movement of personnel and material even under siege conditions. It was built in preparation for an attack on the United States that fortunately never came. The original plan also called for the construction of a large naval base in Riverport to support the U.S. Navy in the Atlantic, taking advantage of the local shipbuilding industry. But as the United States entered World War II after Pearl Harbor, a change in resourcing priorities led to those plans being scrapped.
Monarch had dismantled the old cannon.
Yes, Jack. This installation was... they're talking about that to Ogawa. Why are they mentioning that to her? Anyway, this installation was in active use throughout the war, and the underground facilities continue to be used as a base for the Navy intelligence work once World War II ended. The installation was decommissioned in 1961. Okay. Okay, there's 17 narrative thingies. Kinda cool. Is that a thing we need? Or is that just showing us the dismantling just because it's cool? 'Cause that's always a possibility. Apparently there was a thing over here. Somewhere? Way up high? Well, I'm not getting up there. Oh.
The timeline of the old cannon felt loose. I could shift it around.
Smart place to aim the cannon, guys.
Oh.
Okay, quicker next time.
So, did Jack, like, rewind it to when it was, like, functional? And, like, loaded? Because that's a lot of years back. That's, like, 50 plus years. Can I get that from here? Yeah. Well, we have to watch it again. That's fun. Oh, I don't think we're gonna fire it. We're just gonna run up it. That's a shame.
I've been thinking. Monarch projections say these stutters are getting more frequent. If one hits while we're grabbing Dr. Amaral...
You'll be frozen. Yeah, I know. It's a risk.
Monarch specialist troopers have the stutter-proof gear. I bet Dr. Amaral will have that in your office too.
I'll keep an eye out. See if I grab it for you.
I actually didn't want to go in here. I wanted to go investigate that other thing. Okay, more secret stuff.
Somebody said it's because they're both guns.
Yeah.
Heads up, we got an intruder.
Unfortunately, I'm not soon to be able to combo them.
Incoming.
Also, it occurred to me while editing the second to last episode that the carbine rifle that they've been treating as like a DMR, the weapon that model is taken from is actually like a 5.56 assault rifle. In fact, it's the only game I've ever seen that in.
Holy shit, it's Joyce.
If I remember correctly, this LMG is 5.56 as well, so I don't know why it's kicking that much ass. Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Not at all. You there. Should've wore your helmet.
Jack? I've disabled security and unlocked the gates leading to the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know when you get there.
Can I get back there?
Thanks, Beth.
No, because it looks like there's a thing over there. Butts.
Need to get to the radar tower.
That's cool that we have that, like, that melee ability now. You know, should I be without a weapon? Oh, good ammo. Like the actual ammo crate, or backpacks.
Okay. Next stop, the radar tower.
Okay, Jack, I get the idea. Okay, that's nice. But, you know, it gives you ammo regardless. Why is that gun up there? It's a nice stance, Jack.
Great, another one.
Why aren't you sprinting, damn it?
All right, that's it.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't just take ammo from it? Wait. Can I? Oh, you don't get ammo for that. Well, I guess it is bell fed. Was there meant to be a bigger fight up here? Because there's like barrels and stuff. Alrighty then. What are you? Oh, you're a carbine rifle. I'll stay with the machine gun. Good times.
Beth? I'm at the radar tower. Where's the lab?
Below your feet. It's all top secret. The elevator inside will take you down.
Oh, seriously? What is this, a Bond villain lair?
You have no idea. Just don't fall into the Shark Tank.
We're gonna have a good time. But if you're keeping an eye on the in crowd,
Fuck.
you know we're not gonna be the only ones.
I feel like I just missed something happening.
Very exclusive Monarch Gala is tonight at their beautiful mansion on Silver Island. Of course, the event's invite only, and when they say exclusive, they really mean it.
There'll be things here.
A-listers that had a lot of trouble with
Yeah, I don't really care about that radio right now. Not lore enough for my interests. Plus, editing the second last episode, I realized how much of this Let's Play has been me reading text documents. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy a lot of them. They, give a lot of the story you might not otherwise get. Like, I think it was good that we read that document in Serene's office there for the live action sequence. So they kind of put things in perspective. Okay, we have a lot of points now, I think. Diaries and upgrades. Do I want increased range? Maybe more time stop. Maybe this. You know what? I think that sounds wonderful. Although, does it really matter as much now that we have the sprint? Because, you know, I could sprint or I could do this. It's even unlocked, stop and go. Oh, no, they're on separate timers, never mind. Yeah, they kind of overload that little... the HUD elements on the right there, don't they? Oh, apparently the door was a narrative object?
You weren't expecting somebody this handsome, I know. Unfortunately, Mr. Serene is preoccupied with as many duties necessary to assure we maintain control over our path forward. And that's what tonight is about. The future. We all knew this day was coming, even if many of you out there aren't sure what it means. We're entering a new phase in our operation. One that presents new risks and new demands. One that requires this. The Chronon Field Regulator, or CFR. Now, many of you know that this device has been the source of our Chronon research since 2010. But what only a select few of you know is that this device is at the center of Monarch's plans to navigate through the dangers of the future. This device... Everybody get down!
Jesus. What the hell's that about?
Well, Jack, it sounded like someone showed up with a gun. The Burke? Oh. Well, I guess we're gonna listen to their instructions and get down. At least go down.
Hey, Beth. I'm headed down into the labs.
Okay. Bit of confusion here at the party. Serene's right-hand man's on stage. It was supposed to be Serene.
Yeah. I think Paul was too busy trying to have a heart-to-heart with me to make it.
You know, of all of the elevators to have glass walls, I'm not the best for it. Putting that out there. I like all the brushed nickel though. It's nice.
Jack! The security network just lit up.
Never mind. Things are making sense now.
Jesus.
Oh. Okay. Little QTE action. Break my spacebar. What are those bullets hitting? Yeah, no rush, Jack. Bullets aren't that big.
Dr. Amaril's office. Looks like that's one level up.
Okay. Lots of stuff. I'm not gonna read those all out. Give you a chance to look at it if you want. You can pause it. And here we go. Dude. That door. The door's doing things. Why were you shooting there? You're a strange one. Okay. Any goodies around here? Okay, that's why it wants us to go. It's really the best room to have like all these servers, or is this like... Well, these aren't servers. This room's not cool enough for servers. Something though. Anyway, you guys have fun. Use time stop mouse 3 or time shield control to get past unstable objects. Hi. I wonder when they're gonna like stopping. Oh, I have my pistol. Give me that. Also, I liked how in the last episode the vectors they were using in the live action section were the same ones as these, with the very unique muzzle attachment. Well, that's wonderful. Drones are always good things, right?
Are you sure this can't be traced back to us?
Impossible. I've adjusted the flight controls so the drone will crash into the villa on your order.
Good. Very good. I'll make sure that Sophia's in position when the time is right. Wait for my call.
Oh. Oh. He's gonna kill her. Basically.
It was some kind of surveillance drone. Knowing that Monarch had eyes in the sky made me a little uneasy.
Okay. So maybe that wasn't Burke that was shooting up the place. Maybe it's Hatch's plan. Okay, I want it. Give it to me. I wish to have it. Well, butts. Assume we're gonna get in there somehow. Well, looks like a big sphere of some sort.
What is that? It's like I'm being drained.
Nope, more new mechanics. Chronodameters. Chronodameters take away your time powers, disable them, or leave the area of effect to regain your powers. Interesting. Oh, I can
The
imagine.
device drained my powers.
We refer to it as a chronon dampener.
Could you stop switching me to my handgun? Also, we've seen one of these devices, I think. I thought they were the Chronon harvesters near the dry dock there, or the industrial area. I guess not. I guess not. Okay. From Paul Serene to Lifeboat Maintenance, Lifeboat Protocol. Greetings, lifeboat personnel. The day has finally come to commence phase 3 of our plan. Tonight, I will be hosting a gala to celebrate this monumental achievement, to which you are all invited. By now you have likely heard of the events that took place earlier today at Riverport University. Our path forward has not been impacted by this minor setback. We are ready for what comes next. Your part in this journey has yet to begin, but the onset of the fracture will bring with it new challenges that are worth reiterating. Excuse me. I'm not able to go over many of these issues in detail at tonight's gala because many guests will not have knowledge of the lifeboat protocol. As such, I am including a high-level document outlining key points worth addressing. 1. The lifeboat protocol, our forward, our journey ahead. 2. The lifeboat protocol, status of the survival program. Shifters, dangers awaiting us at the end of time. Okay, so that's what Dr. Kim is. Why would there be more than one? Also, in a previous episode, I think it was the one after the first live action sequence. No. It was after reading a document where they were talking about, oh, what's his name? The gruff badass guy that's not Jack. This is how I internally think of characters. I'm really bad with names. Yeah, he had the potential to be on the striker team, and I questioned why they would need Chronon harness, like mooks and stuff like that. And I conjectured that there was like time monsters. Well, I guess there is. Games, you so predictable. Anyway, path forward. When you were first chosen for the lifeboat protocol, you were sent a package illustrating in great detail several events that would come to pass. It was stressed that these events were unavoidable. Many of you were reluctant to believe this, but every single one of those events has since occurred, including, to our great regret, the onset of the fracture. This provides empirical evidence of my knowledge and understanding of the future, and I trust it has dispelled your doubts. No future event that I have experienced can ever be prevented. This includes the end of time. It cannot be avoided. However, it can be survived. Survival in the end of time has been the primary mission of Monarch Solutions since its inception. Your loyalty to this cause will prove invaluable as we move forward. I know this isn't easy, but in the face of immutable facts, sacrifices must be made in the name of our survival. From this point forward, we'll have to start making those sacrifices at a rapid pace. While we do know the exact date and time at which the complete end of time will occur, our knowledge about the escalation and stutters and time anomalies leading to it are far less complete. We do, however, know that it will be dangerous. For the first time in 17 years, we're entering a phase of relative unknown. Adjustments will need to be made along the way, but in response to the effects of the fracture's progress, and to the less cosmic events that we find ourselves in, we ask for your patience in this trying time. 2. Lifeboat Protocol. If you're a chosen few who will survive the end of time, when time stops, your journey will continue in the safety of the lifeboat. The Chronon particle harvesting operation is nearing completion. The lifeboat has been confirmed to be able to run solely on that Chronon power, as regulated by the Chronon field regulator. Current data indicates that the lifeboat remains sustainable for approximately 50 years. Subjective years, of course, as no time at all will pass outside the lifeboat. Given the preliminary research we have achieved using the CFR, we estimate that it'll take at least 2 subjective decades for the lifeboat team to discover a permanent solution for the end of time. Given the nature of the problem, this is of course highly speculative, and the solution can prove to be more elusive than we're hoping. However, by the time the lifeboat protocol is activated, we are confident that we'll be able to increase our Chronon particle reserves and their sustainability to the point where we have a runtime of upwards of 200 subjective years. Or to put it another way, if there is a solution to end the time, I am 100% confident that the lifeboat team will have the necessary time to discover it. I was just thinking while I was reading that. You know, time isn't Earth specific. So all these stutters and stuff like that, is that universe wide? Did Will do something that affects the entire universe? I suppose it would have to, wouldn't it? Huh. 3. Shifters. We briefed you on the dangers of Chronon disrupted wave function subjects. CDWFSs. That's a very clunky acronym. We will now be referred to as shifters. We estimate that they will begin to emerge within stutters only as the end of time nears. The lifeboat has been tested, and we can say with absolute certainty that the stutter-proof technology will protect the lifeboat from shifters. Using a living sample in Dr. Kim's lab, we have proven that shifters cannot manifest without the presence of a stutter. We'll make sure that you are transported to the safety of the lifeboat before they arrive. Floor 3 of the lifeboat has been built to house the Monarch Solutions Striker and Juggernaut squads, a paramilitary unit trained to combat shifters at the end of time. Presence will likely not concern you. However, in the event that travel outside the safety of the lifeboat proves to be necessary for any reason, the Striker teams have been trained to navigate the end of time and successfully eliminate shifters. 4. R&D Tour. Tonight we'll be sending you VIP passes for the gala, which will permit entry into our high-security R&D facility on Gull Island. Many of you are, of course, already intimately familiar with these areas, given your technological and scientific expertise, but those who aren't will undoubtedly find it interesting. You are welcome to join a tour to view the various pieces of tech that Monarch has developed during Phase 2 to prepare for a journey forward. We welcome you to take this opportunity to see for yourself that every development necessary for the Lifeboat Protocol is completely on schedule. Your dedication to our cause will assure our survival. Dark times are coming, but you are the light at the end of the tunnel. Wow. Paul, the cheese. You are humanity's salvation and hope. Together we will survive. Paul Serene. Okay. That was kind of lengthy. Oh. What are you about? That's about shifters. Cool. Chronon disrupted wave function subjects, aka shifters, key attributes. What was that noise to the left here? Theorized to exist in a state of quantum superposition, surrounded by a highly dangerous distortion field, highly resistant to injury, conventional weapons useless. We haven't really seen like Chronon weaponry yet. They populate the end of time, can only exist in zero state, inside stutters. Appearances likely once fracture progresses. As a result, shifters cannot enter shutter-proofed areas. Procedures: keep your distance. If not aggressive, do not provoke. Avoid confrontation. Seek cover inside stutter-proofing. Maintain stutter-proofing at all costs. If forced to engage, assemble superior numbers with Chronon tech weapons. No heroics. You gotta have heroics. You just have to. Okay. I want the things. Give them to me. I desire them. When are we going to go down that hall? Oh well. Okay. Guess we're not going there. Very convenient that it seems to automatically freeze those
Gotta get
open.
to Dr. Amaril's office.
When Paul visited me in that cell, he said time was a closed loop. Believed the fracture couldn't be fixed. Seeing the scale of that facility, it made me wonder. Time was ending? What was it all for?
Who else is here? They're downed. Anyway. Ooh, burst fire pistol. Is that what I have? No, I have a scrappy Glock. Give me that. Want it. Let's do it. That reminds me of last episode during the live action sequence when Burke was in the cell. All the subtitles while them cursing. Okay.
The alarm would trigger as soon as the stutter broke. I was on borrowed time.
Oh. Good to know. This is where it wants me to go? No, it wants me to go this way. Okay, but I want to get the things down here. Whee! Where are you at? There you are. Actually, wait. Does that mean there's new upgrades for the run? Time rush, there is. Okay. Okay, well I need one more point. Okay, so you get focus time after the time rush too. Interesting. Oh, hi there. What are you doing, Jack? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Okay. Oh, wow.
Chart showed that all of Monarch's major technological advancements started in 2010. Around the same time that something else happened.
Yeah.
Ground zero.
Oh, it actually closed that. It didn't let me read it. You know, it's all there. Want to pause and read it? Go ahead. I did enough reading. Whee! Okay, where am I going? Okay, that way. That's fine. Hi. What you doing? Oh, that's what you're doing. Maybe not? What happened to her gun there? That was very strange. Hi. Oh. Okay. Well, that looks like Chronon weaponry. I guess I
What the fuck is that?
got my questions answered. Oh shit. Jack, I have played a video game before. Oh shit. Fucking whacked me. Alright, let's try that again. Can I skip this? Yes. I mean, why wouldn't I be able to skip it in the game related to time manipulation, right?
What the fuck is that thing? Thanks for the heads up.
Oh. Oh, we have presents.
That's my cue.
Wait, where's the big guy?
That's my cue.
Did I kill them? I guess I did. Hi there.
Gotta move. Fuck me. That was hardcore.
I am hardcore.
These things were designed like walking tanks.
They weren't for you. Don't flatter yourself.
That's kind of rude. Okay, I'll just go there. There is something over
Which way is
here.
Amron's office? Oh, hello.
I like how stuff fell off of it.
We might be able to get out from here.
Oh. I had to jump. Oh, wow. I had no idea that Jack could do that. Now we know. And knowing is half the battle. Hmm? I missed something? Oh. Platforming. Because I just didn't expect platforming in a game like this. I'm cool with that. Just didn't expect it.
Guessing this isn't the usual employee route.
Yeah, this doesn't look OSHA compliant. Not even a little bit. Can I even jump that far? Oh. Okay. So that one door is not affected by the time thingy. Oh, stutter proofing. Well, that makes sense. That's cute. Friggin' shut me up, didn't it?
Must be close.
Okay, let's go in here then.
I knew that Monarch had technology to let their soldiers move in stutters, but this was bigger than that. Somehow, time flowed normally in that area. Suddenly, Monarch's lack of concern about time stopping made a hell of a lot more sense.
Interesting. I guess they're progressive. Like this one on the right here is the slowest. This probably has the weakest stutter defense field. Interesting. Very quiet in here. Yeah, triangles are in. Yep. It was hexagons for a number of years, but now it's triangles. People like triangles now. There's nothing wrong with triangles. Personally, I still prefer hexagons. No goodies here?
No alarms. Looks like nobody here knows about the mess I made on the way in. Nice job, Beth.
Good job, Beth. What's everyone doing? What are TPS reports anyway? It's always something that they bring up in like office comedies and stuff like that. But what does it actually mean? Is it a thing, or is it just an ongoing joke between pieces of media? Okay. Martin Hatch to Monarch security team leads. Alright. Instructions for tonight. People, it appears we've been overtaken by events and we've had to adjust our plans accordingly. As you are no doubt aware, we now have Jack Joyce in custody. He gave himself up earlier today. As Mr. Serene has a personal interest in Joyce and the information he might have, we will be interrogating him at the detention center on the island. Unfortunately, this means that Mr. Serene cannot be there for the speech he was scheduled to give at the gala event tonight, so I will have to stand in for him. I have some new security requirements pertaining to that, but I will discuss those with specific individuals in person. Furthermore, be aware that in addition to Joyce, we also have Liam Burke, held at the detention center. Despite his long service to Monarch, Burke is now to be considered hostile, and he has already done quite a bit of damage to us. I shouldn't have to say this, but just to be abundantly clear, any orders given by him should be ignored. Please ensure that Joyce is ready for Mr. Serene, and please bear in mind that Joyce is chronon active and extremely dangerous. He has given himself up voluntarily, so it's entirely possible he doesn't intend to cause trouble. Let's make sure we're prepared if he does. We don't know his motivations, and I would not put it past him to use his surrender as a means to exact a hidden agenda, Martin Hatch. Yeah, talking about hidden agendas, Mr. Hatch.
That's Emerald's office.
There's lots of stuff in here. Alrighty, get started.
The Admiral had tried to warn Paul. The end of time was approaching quickly. Less than 24 hours away.
Mr. Serene believed it would take years to run its course. Admittedly, he was wrong.
Huh. Strange, considering you can see into the future. Anyway, from Sophia Amaral to Paul Serene, Dream Journal 1. With Jack Joyce in her custody, I thought it relevant to forward you a message you sent me years ago. Do not underestimate the significance he holds in your life. I understand your concern that he is reluctant to accept the inevitability of what is coming. However, when he sees the whole picture, we'll have no choice but to believe. We all had our doubts once. You showed us the light. Give him time. Also, just occurred to me. How do the computers work in a stutter? Unless I have this whole message on one page, and you don't need to scroll down. How does that work? Okay. Sophia, as promised in our latest session, I am now going to transcribe what I recall from my dreams. I still have doubts that this exercise will help alleviate my symptoms, but I'm willing to explore the idea further if you truly believe in its merit. For someone who's not a medical doctor, let alone a mental health professional, you seem to take great interest in my thoughts. Not that I don't appreciate it. Here's my first attempt. I recall the haunting image of 7 red doors. Each door had a wrought iron handle that was dripping liquid metal onto the ground, creating a pool in the middle of the room. I looked down into the aqueous metallic glow at my feet to see my own glimmering reflection, revealing that I had aged half a lifetime. Startled, I looked back up to discover that the only one door remained. Jack Joyce stood in front of it. The heat in the room was overwhelming. Jack was sweating profusely, his skin red and peeling open. He begged me to take him home, but there was no door leading home. I opened the only door, left, and entered. The only door left and entered, discovering that we were back in the same room we had just exited. He refused to come to terms with this and opened the door again. I followed him, over and over, as he desperately opened the doors, forever leading us back to where we started. The heat grew and he howled in pain, begging to know why I made the other doors disappear, why there was only one path. He begged me to bring the other doors back. He begged me to take him home. The iron pool burst into flames. Jack screamed in agony. I grabbed him, told him that we needed to learn to endure the heat, to embrace the flame. I knew it would come to pass eventually, but the only way to survive it was to accept its inevitability. My body began swaying rapidly, dancing to the movement of the flames around me until my bones faded out of existence, and I surrendered to the fire, until we were one and the same. I was no longer one being in one place and time. My life force spread evenly across the flames, until I was no longer an individual in one body, but a grander, shifting entity. I could feel Jack being consumed within my essence. I felt the power within the heat, a clarity of intent. I forgot about my desire to ever return from the flames, because the body that once desired to return was lost forever. I became the very thing that I entered, and it became me, a cynical fury chasing itself, Ouroboros. Wow, I've never played a game where evil mastermind referenced Ouroboros. Wesker. I woke up in a cold sweat. I quickly wrote down words that poisoned my mind in that moment. Delmar Schwartz was right. Time is the fire. Interesting. Speaking of fire, it is extremely warm where I am right now. Alright, what do we have here? Okay, projected fracture progression. We've looked at the preliminary data on frequency and severity of the stutters and crunched the numbers. The results are alarming. Our original projection, which gave us years until the fracture reached the point where time breaks down completely, does not match up with the progression of stutters we are experiencing. Put simply, the stutters are happening more and more frequently, clearly indicating that the Mayer-Joyce field is breaking down much faster than we thought. Taking the rate of acceleration, we can hypothesize that we might have as little as 24 hours until we reach the end of time, or the point at which time stops and no longer starts up again. We do not know why the original projection was wrong, and why that data, which we do consider reliable, coming as it does come from Mr. Serene, seems to entirely contradict our current findings. Regardless, the main issue seems clear. In order to achieve Monarch Solutions' stated goals, the Life Protocol should be activated ASAP. Excuse me, I need to wet my whistle here. All of the reading. Okay.
That there looks like what Beth wanted. Oh, shit. Emerald's at the party.
Alright, I got achievement something
Better
fashionable.
blast. I better find a way out of here and get to the party.
I don't think there's an actual time. I have played video games before. Okay, Chronon Destructive Wave Function Subject, aka Shifters. Slide 1. Much of what we know about the Shifters is theoretical, Based on the observations made by Mr. Serene and the limited experimentation we have been able to conduct on the only subject we have managed to capture. Do not seem to have a stable physical presence. Rather, the data we are gathering appears to be fragmented and contradictory, as if there were countless versions of the subject occupying the same space. Our current theory is that they somehow exist in a persistent state of quantum superposition. Or to put it another way, with reference to the famous Schrodinger's cat thought experiment, cat is both alive and dead at the same time. Well, aren't we all? The full mechanics and implications of this exceed our current understanding, but on a practical level, it seems to make them highly resistant to injury. It appears that even if the shifter encounters deadly force, it may kill one of its aspects, but because it exists as multiple iterations of itself, including iterations that were not killed by the force, it doesn't stop. That would only work if like, the different versions of it were not properly aligned. You know, if you get shot in the face and the bullet, you know, it has a path and it goes through multiple versions of itself, then unless that bullet is actually slowed down? No, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Current theory suggests that the only way to stop a shifter is to cause its wave function to collapse from the superposition of a single eigenstate. In practical terms, the shifter must be affected with deadly force enough times for it to run out of healthy versions of itself. As such, direct confrontation with the shifter should be a last resort. Slide 2. Contact with the shifter is extremely dangerous. You know that they are essentially mobile repositories of vast amounts of chronon particles, that they can only exist in a zero state, an area which has been depleted of chronon particles, typically by a fault in the Meyer-Joyce field that encompasses the universe. Locally, we refer to these as stutters in time. We also know that the shifters are hostile to any source of chronon particles other than themselves, within stutters. So any chronon-active individual within a stutter may find themselves targeted by shifters. Okay, that's relevant. It appears that movement in stutters, by which we mean the very movement of particles within the space in which time flows, not merely the movement of an individual, disturbs them. They respond with considerable aggression. That makes me wonder. So they've been harvesting chronon particles, right? And if the stutters are caused by areas with no chronon particles, meaning the chronon particles need to be present in order for time to flow. And they've been harvesting the chronon particles to fuel the research and technology to make the lifeboat protocol and hopefully fix things. So that means that they went back in time, right, to harvest the chronon particles. And this game has been beating us over the head with the fact that if you try to go back in time to fix something, you're going to end up doing that in the first place. You caused it in the first place. Is that what's happening here? That's the way it's looking to me. As discussed previously, shifters are also extremely resistant to damage. They're all quite physically formidable. But the biggest threat is the distortion field around them. Its exact nature is unknown, but we know it warps the properties of the space surrounding them, exerting great physical stress and unpredictable forces on its surroundings. Again, in practical terms, close proximity to a shifter may be fatal, even if no actual physical contact takes place. Slide 3. The stutter-proofing technology Monarch Solutions has advanced offers solid protection against shifters. Time flows normally within the stutter-proofed area, so shifters simply cannot exist within them. Therefore, as long as stutter-proofing remains active, shifters are not a problem. However, stutter-proofing of large outside areas is not feasible, given our chronon particle budget, so we have developed our other technology to defend against shifters, the chronon dampeners. A chronon dampener works by annihilating free-floating chronon particles within a specified area. As shifters' forms are hypersaturated with chronon particles, they cannot enter an area in which a chronon dampener is active without their wave function collapsing. Therefore, our operatives in the field have a solid, portable defense against shifters. Our own technology is shielded against the dampener's effect, so activities and stutters undertaken by our strikers and other operatives are not hindered. However, as an unfortunate side effect, the dampeners have a crippling effect on individuals who were chronon active without the aid of technology. Accordingly, should Mr. Serene be present, you should always make him aware of your intentions before activating a dampener. You may rest assured that the dampener is not powerful enough to do actual physical harm to Mr. Serene, whose system constantly produces new chronon particles to replace the ones that are lost. But as the dampener's effects are unpleasant and enervating, such an encounter is likely to lead to an awkward conversation about future career prospects. It's great. Okay, I thought they were referencing slides. I thought maybe it was these, but no. Those are just X-ray things. Alrighty, what we have here? CFR briefing by Dr. Sophia Amaral. It's no exaggeration to say that the chronon field regulator, or the CFR, is at the heart of all Monarch's technological advances. It has taken on a somewhat mythical quality given its origins and the vital role it plays in the Lifeboat project. But in actuality, the CFR's application are very practical. That's not to say the CFR hasn't had a course-altering impact on the work Monarch's solution does. It's been hugely influential in the development of both the stutter-proofing technology that allows us to shield large areas from the effects of a zero state, enabling time to keep flowing within them even as it stops everywhere else, as well as a smaller personalized application of the same technology, the portable chronon harnesses that allow our soldiers and technicians to operate freely within stutters. We think of Dr. Henry Kim as the father of all this technology, and deservedly so. For all of his brilliance, it was his dedication to uncovering the secrets of the CFR that allowed him to make his breakthroughs. Despite Dr. Kim's hard work, the CFR's functionality is still not fully understood, and we have not been able to replicate the device. Having more than one of them would obviously be greatly advantageous to us, but we find ourselves in a precarious position where in order to fully investigate it, we would have to take it apart. Given its immense power, such an undertaking could pose obvious risks. Perhaps even more importantly, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to put it back together again. Given that it's vital to the implication of the Lifeboat protocol, it's our policy to leave it intact. We do know, however, that the CFR can not only store an immense amount of chronon particles, it can also tap into the Mary Joyce field and, with great precision, manipulate it. It's this unique ability that our own chronon technology replicates, albeit at far less control and efficiency. It's also what makes the Lifeboat protocol a reality. By itself, our stutter-proofing technology is powerful and reliable, but its rate of chronon particle consumption is high, and increases at an alarming rate as we widen the volume of space the stutter-proofing covers. This would, on the face of it, make the stutter-proofing a very temporary solution indeed, one that could perhaps buy us some subjective weeks once we enter a permanent zero state, but which would ultimately only delay the inevitable. However, the CFR changes all of that. When the permanent stutter-proofing installed on the Lifeboat, indeed the very stutter-proofing that makes the Lifeboat in the first place, is directed by the CFR, the system becomes vastly more efficient. Our chronon particle consumption is reduced to around 1% of what it otherwise would be. Given that chronon particles are hard to source, even at our ground zero installation, and our stockpiles are decidedly limited, this means that the CFR makes the difference between Lifeboat being a temporary stopgap solution or a very long-term undertaking that hopefully allows us to eventually find a solution to the end of time. Okay. That's that for here. And that's going to be it for this episode. I'm just going to leave it here looking at this bowl of fruit here. Not sure if it's real. It looks kind of lumpy though. So if you like this episode, why not give it a like, a comment, or constructive criticism. And if you want more like it, why not subscribe? Either way, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope you'll join me next time. Stay spicy.